In today's video, I'm going to share with you the 5 very best movies starring Chadwick Boseman of all time. What's up, my dude? Your friendly neighborhood Tony here, and if you're like me and have recently seen Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, you may have Chadwick Boseman on your mind, so what I wanted to do was go in and look up the very best movies he has been in and share a few of them with you. So some of these movies you may have heard of, some you may not be very familiar with, but all of them are great. If that kind of thing sounds good to you and you want to see more ranking videos just like this one, make sure you subscribe. Also, if you have any movies starring Chadwick Boseman that you love that I don't mention on this list, let me know in the comments below. Coming in at number 5 on the list is the 2014 biographical musical drama about the hardest working man in show business. That's right, James Brown, called Get On Up. Get On Up was directed by Tate Taylor, who you might also know from directing the movie called The Help, which was a really good movie. And of course, it stars Chadwick Boseman in the lead role playing James Brown. And I gotta tell you, watching this movie, Chadwick Boseman is completely transformative. I'm not the most knowledgeable about James Brown and his personality and his life story, but in this movie, just watching Chadwick Boseman's performance, it is uncanny how he's so different from what we normally see on screen and so similar to what you have seen from James Brown in music videos or interviews or things like that. His voice, his mannerisms, everything is transformed. And although the movie is, of course, a musical documentary, it doesn't fall into all of the exact same traps and tropes that we've seen in a lot of those movies. It has a bit of a different way of telling the story that I don't necessarily want to spoil for you, but it's unique in its own way. Now, of course, as you know, with a lot of these types of movies, it does vary a little bit from actual historical fact, and it kind of dramatizes things a little bit more than they may have been in the moment. But to be fair, James Brown's entire life was pretty dramatic, so a lot of the things that you're seeing in this movie are pretty true to life. And whether it's with the performances on stage, the dancing that Chadwick Boseman does in this movie that imitates James Brown, or just the voice. His voice is so different in this movie. This is a shining example of what he was capable of as an actor, and I absolutely recommend you check it out. In fact, what I'm going to do is go ahead and link to all of these movies on Blu-ray in the description below, so if you want to check them out, I'll have everything linked there. Of course, those are affiliate links, so it does help out the channel, just full disclosure on that. So if you do use those links, I appreciate it. Okay, coming in at number 4 is the 2017 legal biographical drama called Marshall. And in this movie, Chadwick Boseman plays Thurgood Marshall, who was the first African-American Supreme Court justice. And it follows him through one of the first cases of Thurgood Marshall's career, the state of Connecticut versus Joseph Spell, which was a case in which an African-American man was accused of raping a woman, of course, a white woman. And it's up to Thurgood Marshall, played, of course, by Chadwick Boseman, to prove his innocence. Now, of course, if you're comparing Thurgood Marshall to James Brown, they are vastly different personalities. And a lot of what Chadwick Boseman does in this movie is much more subtle and a little bit more stoic than what we've seen in Get On Up. Thurgood Marshall, of course, was a very intelligent man, and in this movie, it shows just his ability to overcome and to really outsmart people in the legal field. The movie also stars Josh Gad as an attorney who works with Thurgood Marshall on the case, and I gotta say, he was also quite good, although in my mind, when I see Josh Gad, I think, of course, of Olaf from Frozen, or even LeFou in Beauty and the Beast, so it's a bit odd to see him playing such a serious character, but I do think he did quite well. Overall, this movie, as a legal drama, really gets you invested in the characters and in the story. I had to do my best not to look up anything about the case because, of course, it is based on an actual case. And I will say, if you're interested at all in the legal history in the United States of African Americans and their struggle, or even if you just like to see a good legal drama, this is an amazing movie. Okay, coming in at number 3 is, I think, the first Chadwick Boseman movie I had ever seen, which is yet another biographical film. I swear, he is so good at playing these real-life historical characters. But this one is the 2013 sports biographical film called 42, which is, of course, the story of Jackie Robinson. I think I actually have an old review that I did of the movie 42 on my channel, so if you want to go way back and check that out, I'm not promising that it's going to be very good, but I do have that video. So if you want to see more about this particular movie, you can check that out as well. Now, of course, for those that don't know, Jackie Robinson was the first black athlete to play in Major League Baseball in America. And although I don't think the movie itself was particularly exceptional. The story is really interesting, and of course Chadwick Boseman is great in his role as Jackie Robinson. Also, this movie has a great performance by Harrison Ford, who plays, I think, the owner or the manager of the baseball team. Honestly, one of my favorite Harrison Ford performances overall. Also, I feel like I should clarify real quick, the way that I am ranking all of these movies is not based on my own personal opinion. What I did is I went online and found a bunch of fan and critic reviews and basically just ranked these by average score. So definitely let me know your own personal ranking in the comments below. Okay, coming in at number 2 is the last movie that Chadwick Boseman was in before he unfortunately passed away. And that's a film called Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. Now, this is a movie that is based on a play, and the play is about Ma Rainey, who was an old blues singer in the very early 20th century. The movie also stars Viola Davis as the titular character, and she is incredible in this movie. And it's produced by Denzel Washington, which, if you know a little bit about Chadwick Boseman's history, him and Denzel have a very specific and unique connection. If I remember correctly, and there's a video of it online where Chadwick Boseman is presenting, I think, an award or speaking at an award ceremony, and he talks about that Denzel Washington contributed to a group of students at a school that Chadwick was going to, and he, of course, was one of those students. I don't remember the exact story, but in essence, Denzel Washington is partially responsible for Chadwick Boseman pursuing his education in the dramatic arts. So it's really cool to see that it all kind of comes full circle, and Denzel was able to bring on Chadwick as a major role in not just any film, but his last film. If you want to check out Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, it was made, I believe, specifically for Netflix, so it is streaming on there. If I can find a Blu-ray, I will link that to you in the description below. But this one is a movie that you absolutely have to check out. It's a pretty short one. It is based on a play, and it's only about an hour and a half long, and it mostly takes place within one building. But despite the fact that the title is Ma Rainey's Black Bottom and it's primarily about Ma Rainey, Chadwick Boseman's character, Levy, is, I feel, the main focus of the majority of the movie. And he is so good. It is such a dramatic role where he gets to express so many emotions, whether it's fear, anger, greed, desire. He really gets to just let it all out on the screen, and it is tremendous to watch. Okay, last up on the list is a bit of a cheat because it's several movies, but one character, the one that of course we all know and love him for, that is playing T'Challa, the King of Wakanda, in Black Panther, Captain America Civil War, Avengers Infinity War, and Avengers Endgame. I think those are the 4 movies that he played that character in, and he was absolutely tremendous as that character and has left such a hole in not just the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but I feel in a lot of our hearts. And although he may be gone, at least we have these amazing works of art that he left behind with us for all of us to be able to go back and explore and to share just a bit of his spirit. So thank you guys so much for checking out this video today. It was a bit of a sadder one, but I felt like it was something that I had to make. Definitely let me know though in the comments if you have other movies that you think I should check out or ones that you would recommend that people watch starring Chadwick Boseman. Otherwise, I'll catch you in the next video. All right, be good.